right, so we got 6 o'clock here on the dot. We'll still have some people joining us. Probably the next few minutes. So this is our one Zoom only meeting, hopefully of the year. Next week we'll be back at the church, talking about kicks. If anybody have any questions while we go through, feel free to raise your hand or interrupt us. We can. I was going to use the chat box. We're monitoring that as well. We do ask for attendance purposes. If you have like just a phone number, I'm looking through the participants. It's like we got everybody's name. Just make sure we got your name, so that way we can get everybody accounted for. We may have some people from other districts joining us when we have Zoom meetings. I've been approached by other directors if some of their people can hop onto our meetings if they can't attend, and they're out of town traveling for business or whatever. And so you may see some different names. That's from people around the state joining us. A couple of quick announcements before we get going. So sign-ups on our website. Pop Warner, Danny handles that. Barbecue, banquet. Again, practice exams. If you're going to come to one of the practice exams or both, just sign up so we know how many exams to print off, that sort of thing. And as of this morning, we still needed a referee for the Chapin spring game. So if you want to work that, you can sign up for that. Roster, again, if you have a new email, new phone number, whatever it may be, just make sure you send me an email or update that. So that way we can have accurate contact information come the fall. And arbiter blocks, the sooner you can get those in, the better. We've got about half of the schedules for the sub-varsity games, so already in arbiter. So we'll get the rest of those over the course of the summer. So if you're going to be out of town, you can go ahead and get those blocks in. Remember, Wednesdays, they typically start around 4:30. So if you can work later that day, just make sure you just put the block for like partial day to like 5:30. Thursdays, they typically, I think, start around 6. And just try to give us 2 dates per month at a minimum. Not saying you obviously will get a game, but we'll just that way we'll give some flexibility to the scheduling. So shirts, if you're interested in a polo shirt, SCFOA polo shirt, then contact Doug. He's gonna get those made for us. Do a bulk order for that standpoint. Physicals, so again, due by August 3rd. You can find the form on the website. Again, you can upload it through Dropbox. You can take a picture of the bottom and email it to me or text it to me. I just need that little bottom portion saying that you had it. And then dues, $100. Again, ways to pay John, PayPal, Venmo, and I can email these out as well. And then if you're going to pay cash or checks payable to GCFOA, and we can pay John at a meeting from that standpoint. So ways to do that. I know it's early May, so people like get knocked out early, but those are the different ways that we can pay John. Clinic excuses. So again, if you know you're going to be out for the clinic, you can go and get your excuses done. You can upload them on the website. Again, you can email it to me. This is an email will suffice. If you know you're doing a business trip or something like that, just the dates and where you're going. And makeup exam information will be sent out closer to date. But normally it's going to be that Monday afterwards. Now, if you can't make that Monday, then let me know and we can work something out. I'm going to be out of the country until August 6th or 7th. So I'm going to be out of the country from end of July to the beginning of August. So we'll make sure we get all that arranged ahead of time. So with that being said, any sort of clinic excuses or anything that we can knock out early, we can make sure we get everything planned from that standpoint. Upcoming schedule highlights. So again, next week, Radius Church in Lexington, 6:15. Again, we'll offer it via Zoom as well. And then for our newer officials, we have another field session coming up this Thursday at 6 o'clock. Just make sure you check your schedule closely, and make sure you get the right times and where we're going to be at and everything. And then I'll keep sending out the reminder emails the day of the meetings as well. Rule books. So I picked up the rule books today, but don't have the case books, but I got the rule books. So I will be at the meeting for a little bit on Thursday, handing out rule books, and obviously we'll have them next Monday as well. If you're going to pick up a group, that's fine. We can you just make sure you just give us the names of all you're picking up for from that standpoint. Now that I have the rule book, I have the wording for the rule changes, so I'll be able to do the rule change presentation like I've done in the past. And then, if you can't make first couple of meetings, can't get your rule books, let me know, and we'll come up with a different plan from that standpoint. And then certification exam, don't have a date yet. I actually talked to Jill at the high school league today about it. She's working on it, so hopefully I will let you know when that comes out. That's all I have for announcements. Does anybody have anything else they want to share? No. All right. Let's get into it. So we're going to do it a little differently this year. Instead of just going rule 3, rule 4, so we're going to break it down by topics. And I'm using the last year's 2022 rules by topic. I think some of y'all got that book. And basically what that book does is it kind of merges the rules together into sections. Or topics. So like this week, we're going to do field equipment, and game official duties. And then we're going to spend 2 weeks on kicks. We've got 3 dates set aside for scrimmage plays, etc. So it's a little different format, kind of more of how we officiate. Now for the newer officials, we're still going to break it down by rules and kind of work on the fundamentals on Thursday nights and building blocks. But for us, I thought this might be just a more representative way of how we do it. We'll try it this year. If y'all tell me at the end of this year that you hate it, and we can go back, that's no problem. But I figured we'd give this a shot. Rico, real quick, when you see James pop up on here as joining the meeting, make him a co-host so you can make sure you can see all the participants and get all the attendance done.
I just don't jump on Garrett.
I see his beautiful face now. Marfrey asked when the clinic is going to be. So pull up my calendar here. It's going to be July 29th. So the last Saturday in July. Tentatively scheduled for Spring Valley, but we've not gotten that confirmed yet from Charlie, but that is the current plan, is that will be July 29th at Spring Valley. All right, so very similar to our previous, the previous studies were its definitions. So these are the key definitions for the discussion today. The field of play. So what's the difference between the field and the field of play? Well, the field of play includes, it does not include the end zones. Side zones, end zones, boundary lines, end line, goal line. So if you're not quite familiar with these terms, definitely recommend you get into Rule 2, study these definitions, because if you don't understand the vocabulary that we're discussing or the language, then it's going to be difficult to have a full grasp of the rules. So the field. All right, so oops, pull up my notes here, sorry. Notes. All right, so the field includes all the inbound area, including the inbound. Okay. So the end zones, so the goal line is in the end zone. So from that line to the back line. 9-yard marks. So why are these significant? Because you have to be inside the 9-yard marks. And when we say inside, so, and you have to be in this area between here and here at some point after the ball is ready for play and before it's snapped. So a lot of times you'll see receivers that run a long route and they'll be lazy and they'll come down here and they'll want to hang out over here because nobody huddles anymore. Well, just as the wing official, just walk them inside the numbers and then they can come back out. And the reason for this rule is to prevent, the hideout substitutions. They don't want teams to gain an advantage by hiding a player out by the sideline. The defense thinks that he's off the field or he's not going to participate. And the next thing you know, he's running down the sideline free. Logos. Okay, so there should be no marking. There can be markings in the end zone, but they should not be touching the goal line. This is a problem with some of our high school fields. Well, we have multiple sports being played on the same field, so we have multiple lines. So how many times have we gone to a turf field and along the end line has been a white line, and like for example at Irmo, there's a black line. So in your pregame when you walk the fields, you need to notice that, and then you need to make the back judges need to make a mental note that the black line is in bounds, the white line is out of bounds, and so you just need to be aware of that when you walk the field pregame wise. Team boxes. So these are the team boxes. So what this dark, it says this bright white solid area. What is this area called? It's called the restricted area. And so what does that mean? It means that when the ball is live, how many coaches can be in this area when the ball is live or about to become live?
2, I believe.
No.
Put my mic on.
0.
Can there be any coaches in this area?
No.
Oh yeah.
Ball is
Right,
live.
yeah. Yes, no coaches, right? In actuality, how many coaches how many times have you seen 1, 2, 3, 8 coaches in this area when the ball's live? And so, and how many times does one guy allow all these coaches and then the other guy doesn't allow anybody? Now you get coaches screaming, well, they're like toddlers, y'all with kids. Well, she got away with it. Why can't I? Type stuff. So just be consistent, keep them back. Talk to them, tell them all night that, this is my space. Walk them back, keep them out of there. A lot of times the coaches will have somebody assigned to that. So just do these things and be consistent week in and week out. And if we're all consistent as a group week in and week out, then by weeks 3, 4, 5, coaches will get the message and we'll keep them out of the space. So we have the restricted area, and then we've got the team box area, and all the players need to be outside the white. They've got to be back. So coaches can kind of get in this restricted area during the dead ball periods, but the substitutes, the non-players, they all need to be back deep into this green area here. So hash marks versus sideline extensions. So when the ball becomes dead in this area here, it's going to be next to be put in play on these hash marks. All right. So for the umpires, when we snap it from here and we throw an incomplete pass on the other side of the field, where are we going to come back and put the ball? We're going to put the ball over on this hash mark.
No, from the previous
Previous
spot.
spot.
Previous spot.
That's fine.
Okay, yep, previous spot. We have a penalty. Okay, we have an incomplete pass. We snap it from here. Incomplete pass over here. And there's a penalty right here. And it's against A. Where are we going to mark that foul from?
Previous spot.
Previous spot. Okay. We snap it from here. We have incomplete pass. We have a foul by B over here. Where are we going to mark that one from?
Previous spot.
Previous spot. So it's going to be here. So don't make sure that when we communicate penalty enforcement, we know exactly where we're coming from. You think, well, it may not matter. And it does matter to some of these offenses if they're in the middle or they're on one particular side or the other. They call different plays depending on the type of offense they run. Some offenses, they don't care, but sometimes they do. And so just knowing when we're going to go back from the previous spot, when we're going to go from the spot to foul, and just knowing those locations. And for the umpire, how do y'all remember where we're snapping it from? What sort of keys do y'all use to remember where we're snapping the ball from?
Your wristband,
Down marker.
my wristband too.
Yeah, I'll use the wristband down marker for ball positioning.
Okay. All right. As long as you have a system and you get it right, that's all we're looking for, is to make sure you just have a consistent system from that standpoint. And when can teams determine when can a team select where they're going to next snap the ball between the hash marks?
Catch,
That
awarded fair catch,
that's one.
touchback,
Okay, that's two.
point after,
A try.
Right. Yep. For a try. Yep.
overtime,
Overtime.
Safety.
Safety.
kickoff,
Tough.
Yep. So for a try, for a kickoff, for a safety, following a fair catch, following a awarded fair catch, following a touchback, or for overtime.
Bat Scott.
So, but what is the key to that? If a team is going to choose where to snap it prior to a try, when does that decision have to be made?
Prior to the ready for play.
Prior to the ball being marked ready for play. It's correct. It's correct.
Well,
If
wouldn't
it's a penalty, and we replay the down.
Then he gets that option again.
What's that?
Then he gets that option again.
Then they get the option again. Yeah, so don't forget that they do get the option again. If the down is to be replayed or a dead ball foul occurs. Okay. So, but they need to make. Can they call a timeout prior to the ready for play and then come and tell you where they want to snap it from?
Yes.
Yes.
As long as it's before the ready for play.
But if I mark it ready for play and then they want to call a timeout, they can't do it then.
No.
So one way to prevent this from being an issue is, if I think a team's going to go for two, or it's after a touchback, just kind of find the captain, look to the coach, give him a second, ask him where do they want the ball to be placed. If he just looks at you like he doesn't know what you're talking about, then just put it in the middle. But kind of give them that second to kind of tell you. Don't be in a rush to mark the ball ready for play. Give them an opportunity to make that decision. All right, next. All right, so You go to a field like this. What's missing on this field? That makes our lives easy.
Hash marks.
Hash marks, yard line extensions. So if you go to one of these fields, you need to get your rating up. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so pylon placement. Where's the proper positioning for a pylon and the goal line?
They're considered out of bounds.
Okay, yeah, so here, look at this picture. So we have the line, the width of the line is about the same as the pylon. So this is in bounds. So you've got the pylon placed at the edge, at the intersection of the front edge of the goal line and the inner edge of the of the sideline. But here, you get a thick goal line, right? So when we walk the field, we need to make sure that pylon is at that front edge of the goal line and the inner edge of the sideline. Because if you put the pylon back here, is that proper positioning back here?
No.
No, because if the runner, and why do we do this? If the runner dives for the pylon and he touches he has possession of the ball and it touches the inner part of the pylon, what is that considered?
Touchdown.
Touchdown. That's right. So that's why we have to make sure these pylons in the proper spot. And if you get down towards a goal to goal situation, take a peek. If you're on the wing, take a peek at that pylon, make sure it's right. Make sure the band, cheerleaders, people have not moved it around.
Garrick, I got a question.
Yeah.
Is there any restrictions to the thickness of the goal line itself?
Hold on. Let me look it up. I mean, it may be, but it's not. Let's see.
It could probably be 10 yards if you wanted it to be all one color.
So inlines and sidelines shall be continuous lines at least 4 inches wide. All other field dimension lines should be marked 4 inches in width. So it looks like a minimum of 4, but I don't see a maximum. But like in this one here with the thick goal line, only thing that matters is that front edge. So, if they break that plane, that's a touchdown. So so that front edge is what matters there for the thickness.
Okay, that makes sense. Thanks.
Yep.
But I would bet you probably can't have it the entire goal, the end zone white, because then you wouldn't know what out of bounds was. So if you had it like a red color or a black color where it offset from the sideline, then it probably is legal. So you could distinguish goal line and out of bounds.
Yeah. Now you're not supposed to have any. You're not supposed to have any advertisements, decals, anything touching the goal line. There should be a space between it. I can't remember. I'm sure it's in here somewhere.
That's just for the yard line, but the goal line
Yeah.
goes all the way to the sideline.
Yeah. But we've all been to fields where so decorative markings in the end zone should be no closer than 2 feet from the boundary and the goal lines. All right, so here, is this a properly placed pylon?
No, that's an airport high school probably.
So what we're talking about here. So we've got a soccer line, looks like here, and a football field, right? So this pylon needs to be placed back here at the intersection of these 2 lines, because this yellow line is in bounds. The white is out of bounds. And so when we walk the fields, we just need to make note of that when we see that. For your back judges, the pylons that are in the that are signal the along the hash marks there. Do you want it on the inline or do you want it off the inline?
Oh,
Yeah, I moved mine off.
Why is that?
I just move it off just in case he's literally in, but it's like touching a pylon if he's in.
So you can stand on the back line without making contact with it. So
And
you
the
don't
other
trip.
thing is, if this pylon is up here and a player jumps into the air and he touches that pylon, what is he considered?
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Yeah. Out of bounds. So if you have it right up against the inline there and a receiver or somebody jumps into the air, touches the pylon and then touches the pass while touching the pylon, and then you got an incomplete pass. He's touching a loose ball out of bounds. Why he's considered out of bounds. So that's another reason to get it off that end line, move it back so you have room, so you don't hit it and fall over it. But also a player doesn't accidentally touch it running back there.
Another reason why those pylons are there because of the fields that are not recognizably the inbounds marks. It gives the umpire a good reference point. He can glance at those pylons to determine what the next snap would be if it's on the hash mark side of the field.
Yep. Or if it snows, I guess you can use it that way too, but I'm not officiating if it's snowing, so we're gonna call the game for hazardous weather conditions at that point. All right, so here's a play. All right, so we're towards the goal line. So let's think pre-snap here. So we're about the 10-yard line. So who has the goal line responsibility here?
Wings.
Wings. Okay, so as a wing official, so what are you thinking? You thinking, all right, they're gonna snap the ball, and now I've got 10 yards that I've got to get down there, and I've got to read the play. So don't just take off, read the play, and then but be aware of having goal line responsibility. Because the back judge is going to be on the end line. All right, so got a quick pass out here. So as a wing official, you read the pass play. He's got to catch. Now you've got to get. So you still want to protect yourself though, right? You still want to allow this runner to pass, do we not? We don't want to be here, right? If you're here, what's going to happen?
Possibility of a collision.
Yeah, you're going to get, you're in a very vulnerable position here. So you want to get as close to even as you can, and you want to stay wide, right? We got the white, and then you want to stay as wide as you can here because if you're laying on the ground, you're not doing anybody any good. I get that we're chasing. I get we're not going to beat him to the goal line, but staying close and being able to upright and being able to see is a lot better than laying over here ducked out. All right, so again, he's going to die for this pylon. So are we going to be in perfect position to see this?
Not perfect.
No. But we're going to be as close as we can, as close as safely as we can be, right? All right, so let's see another angle on this thing. All right, So he's coming at us. All right. So when does goal line extension apply? When is the goal line extended?
When a body part is inbounds, hand, foot, body part inbounds.
And what does the goal line extension allow for? It allows for the ball to be actually in this area here and still to be a touchdown, right? If he's running and he's got a body part in bounds, then the football can be over here and can still be a touchdown, correct? If he's diving, so he's in the air, then you do not get goal line extension. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, so he's got a body part in bounds right here. So he would get goal line extension. Now, he hits the pylon with his foot. When he hits the pylon with his foot, what is he now?
Out.
Out of bounds.
Out of bounds. So does he get goal line extension at this moment?
No.
No.
No. So the football then would have to be what? Has to do what? Has to cross inside the pylon. Okay. Now, in real life, we're not using this video as something that we're going to be able to see very easily, because we're going to be back here and we're going to have to make the best call we can. All right. But to illustrate the point of goal line extension, so you get goal line extended if he's in bounds when the ball crosses that extension area. But by him hitting this pylon, the ball is short. So yes, they'll probably pull this back and not call it a touchdown, put it in the 1/2-yard line. For us, we don't really have that capability, but I thought this video really illustrated the purpose of when you're allowed to have goal line extended and when you're not. Any additional thoughts on this video?
Yes, I'd like to add that just remember the wing officials not only have goal line responsibility, they always have sideline responsibility.
Yes, very good point, Sam. Very good point. Yeah, so if he steps out of bounds, then it doesn't matter what happens after that. Now, let's change this up a little bit. Let's say we're snapping this ball inside the 5. So when the ball snapped inside the 5, where do we go?
Straight to the goal line.
Straight to the goal line. So same play. Now we're inside the 5. So now we should be in a position to see this. So look at what this official is. Is he hugging this pylon?
No.
Why is he back here?
He can see better, and it takes him out of the way of being hurt.
Yeah, it opens up his field of vision. So he got, he gets to the, let's pretend 5-man crew, you get to the pylon, you get to the goal line. Don't hug the goal line. Don't straddle the pylon. Get back, get out of the way, because it opens up your field of vision and it doesn't have the play right in front of you. For those of y'all that do baseball, softball, you kind of understand what this looks like. You don't want to be too close because then the play will kind of blow up in front of you. So,
And you don't want to get hurt.
yeah. Because again, if you're laying down over here, you're not doing anybody any good. So give yourself some space. So if you're inside the 5 and you see camera people pre-snap, you see people, you need to get them out of here, right? You need to make sure this space is clear for you to have that area to work and see the play. So
I have to add, for any call we make, we can't say that we were locked out. This doesn't cut it with coaches. We have to create the angle to be able to make the best call.
Yep. If you're chasing, it's going to be hard. You just have to do the best you can. But if we're inside the 5, then we should be there for this to be able to see that. And the other thing is, when this happens, don't be in a rush to make the call. Okay. See the whole play, see him fall down, see the ball in his hands, take a second, and then process what you saw. Don't be in a hurry to throw up a touchdown signal or stop the clock or anything like that. Just take that second, kind of watch the immediate dead ball action, process what you saw, and then go up with a confident signal. On this play, if you're standing there and you rule a touchdown and you're confident about it, nobody's going to say anything. And if you rule him down short by putting your arm up and stopping the clock and you're confident about it, nobody's going to be able to say anything because nobody's going to have a better look than you did. All right, next play. All right, so here's another one. Again, this is just to illustrate the what goal line extension means. So very similar. Right. And we've all seen these plays at high school. And everybody runs the same plays. Again, all right, so he's inbounds here, ball's here. His next step, this foot here, does it land inbounds or out of bounds? So we got a goal line extension. Nice freeze frame. If we could just do this in real life during games, it'd be much easier. But watch where his next foot is. All right, his foot lands here. So is he inbounds or out of bounds?
He's out of bounds.
By rule, does he get goal line extension?
No.
No.
No. Again, is this something that we're probably going to be in position to see most times? Probably not. But this is really illustrates really well for him. For this to be a touchdown, what does this football need to be?
The other arm.
And the other arm needs to be inside that pylon. Yep. All right, so this is what happens. All right, so is Kuhn on here? Because this is a bang bang play that Dave Kuhn had last year. I don't see him on here. Okay, so pre-snap. All right, we're inside the 10, but we're outside the 5. So he's not going to release immediately to the goal line, right? Because based on positioning. You've got a few people milling around back here, but this area looks pretty clear. Well, let's watch this play. We got 2 views. What do y'all think? So he gives himself plenty of space. Okay, he's a little early, but he got there. But you see, he gave himself a lot of room, right? I mean, he's out here by those restraining line marks. No, he's way out there. So he gave himself plenty of room, and he comes in and he's confident with that he's got him short. There, so he got room. He got out of the way. He sees the whole play. He lets it clear. He got it short. Is there any doubt in anybody's minds that he saw it? Can anybody argue that?
No.
No, because he is
No.
in the proper position.
In the proper position. Proper position. All right. Now, you can make the case for going frame by frame here. So he reaches out. So for this to be a touchdown, Michael, why are you drawing on the screen? For this to be a touchdown, the ball has to do what?
Cross on the inside of the pylon.
Inside, because he's in the air.
Parallel.
So, yeah. So you can tell. I mean, it is super close, but he's looking right at it. He's gave himself space. He doesn't rush the call. He sees the whole play. There's no way to argue this at all. That is the best that we can do on a play like this.
Hey, Garrett, it didn't matter anyway.
Well, no, it's not going to matter. But that's not the point. The point is to make it. So, all right. For you umpires out there, when you walk the field in the pregame, what is required before we play with the goalpost?
Padding,
Padding.
Patty.
And how tall should the padding be?
6 feet tall.
6 feet.
And if the padding is dry rotting and falling apart, but it's there, are we gonna play?
That's a tough call there. Because it needs to be in good condition.
Yeah. I mean, you can ask them, hey, you got any more? And they say, no, we haven't ordered new pads in 20 years. You tell them they need to order some pads, put it on the game card, send it in. As long as the padding is there. But if there's no padding, we're not playing. Okay, that is a safety rule. That is in the rule book. You're not playing with no padding. All right. Field goals. So in high school football, for a kick try to be good, the ball has to do what?
Between the uprights over the crossbar.
It's to cross inside the uprights. So this is college, but in high school, you gotta, first of all, you got a kicker number 62. That's never a good sign, but kicks it. And so it has to cross inside the uprights in high school. Okay. So would that be a successful kick try or kick attempt in high school?
No.
No. So let's talk about a little back judge position, or but back judge, line judge position. Oops, too wrong. Back a little bit. So for you back judges and line judges, when y'all get underneath the goalpost, what do y'all like to stand? Are you like directly under it? Are you back a little bit behind it?
I'm back behind it.
Yeah, I'm back behind it too.
Okay. Is there, and I don't really know, I don't know the answer to this question. So is there any particular reason? Is that just a comfort level? How do you decide where to go?
I don't like to look straight up in the air at the goalpost. I'd rather have a little bit of an angled view of it.
Okay. Okay. All right. James?
Yeah, I agree with Skip. You know, if you right up under it, you're looking at the goalpost. So you have to kind of step back.
Okay. Give you a little bit of an angle. Okay. And then, but your position, because I've seen a few people, and I don't understand, they'll come out here and stand.
Need to be right behind the goalpost.
Right behind it, just kind of just a little bit at an angle, so that way you get a good look at that. Okay. And then, you know, in high school, by our mechanics, we don't step, but we do confirm with each other. Yes, no. And then who has the whistle?
Back judge.
Back judge. Yeah. Let me ask you, from a style standpoint, if it's that close to one upright, does this official here on the opposite, does he really need to give any signal?
I wouldn't.
James,
I mean,
where's your thoughts?
Yeah, if he doesn't have a ruling, if it's not his ruling, I would say no.
Lynn, you got any thoughts on that one?
I agree. If it's,
You
if it's
confirm a yes,
dealing
no?
with the,
The ver-
if it's dealing with the,
it's just verbal.
Hey,
You confirm?
Go ahead.
Garrett,
If
hey,
you confirm a yes, no, why didn't he give a signal?
yeah, he needs to give a signal so the referee can see. Referee may not be able to see the other official on the other side.
Okay. All right. So that's something that I would encourage y'all to talk about pregame wise. You know, if it's really close, tight to an upright, talk about it. And see. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way to do it, personally. You know, one thing that I tell my guys to do if it's a kick try, hold your signal until I acknowledge it. Because again, if I've got people falling around the kicker or the holder, I'm not going to be looking up. So don't be in a hurry, but give the signal, but I will acknowledge it and just hold it one way or the other. So all things are just going to talk about pregame wise there. But what we can't have happen is one guy to go good and the other guy to go no good. So however, you know, you want to handle it pregame wise, just make sure everybody's on the same page from that standpoint.
Hey, Garrett.
Yep.
Just a quick thought. I know a lot of times, like if you are, you know, we're told if a play is towards, you know, the linesman's side or the line judge's side, and they give the signal, we don't throw up our hands if we're on the opposite side too, because we weren't close enough to know, especially if it's a real close play, if he's in or not. And I'm wondering if that same philosophy would be applicable just in that situation that we saw.
It could be, but I mean, again, I think as long as you just discuss it pregame wise and everybody's on the same page and everybody gives the same signals or only one gives a signal, then that's the key. You don't want to have it that close and then try to figure it out as a crew. Just make sure you just talk about that in the pregame.
Well, can I say something?
Yeah, George.
Yeah, we look at each other and we say yes, no. If we say yes, no, then we already know before we go up. If we say yes, we both go up with it.
Okay.
That's good. If we say no, we both go up with that's no good.
Okay. Yep. And George is
We
right.
don't get the signal until we say yes, no.
Yep. So, yep. And George is, you know, he's accurate with that statement. So, and then as long as everybody, yeah, if that's y'all talk about the pregame and go yes, no, and confirm it, then that's all that matters. Game equipment wise. All right. So when can a coach use a headset during an official's time? No, I'm sorry, during an authorized time conference?
Outside 9-yard marks.
A coach can use it at any point, right?
Anytime.
Anytime. Coach can do it at any time. When can a player use a headset? During an authorized conference, when can a player use a headset?
Outside the 9-yard mark.
Outside the 9. So coach is mad and he's going to walk to the middle of the field so mamas don't hear what he's about to tell his team. He can have on his headset, but he can't hand it to a player. Timeout called, and the teams come to the sideline. Anybody can put on that headset. Football. So who approves the game balls?
10-16, I'm not sure it's got any.
Umpire.
Referee, I'm sorry.
A referee. Spain, don't take that away from me too now.
I'm sorry, man.
And how many game balls per team at a minimum?
One.
One. Yeah. Now, when you do some of your sub-varsity stuff, and I think the middle school games in Richland County, every team's got the same ball, so I think they just kind of use this one ball. But at the varsity level, a minimum one game ball. Can a team tell you that they have a kicking ball?
They can tell you that.
No.
They can have an approved game ball that can be used at any point, not just for kicks, right? So, and when we're checking, when the referee checks the game ball, what are we checking for? Like, what makes a game ball legal versus illegal?
Air.
NFHS logo.
Okay, low, yep. Somebody said air.
All
No, we're not.
the stitching is not like gone.
Yeah. Yep. You gotta have the laces. Yeah, it can't be, it can't deflate. It can't float away if you're if you let it go. I mean, we all kind of, over time, you kind of get a feel for what is legal and what's not. Now, if you're in a pregame and the referee tells you that, if the game ball is too slick, he's not going to approve it. Is there anything in the rule book about how slick the game ball can or cannot be?
No,
I don't think so.
There's
Probably
not.
not because you can't quantify it. There's no like measuring device to determine
Right.
nap or whatever.
Right. So, we're making sure there's a logo. We're making sure that there's laces, the stitches, the weight seems appropriate. That's what we're looking for. Okay. And so this is the logo it must have. Are they allowed to have other markings on the game ball?
yes,
Yes. Yes. If you have a team, comes out there and they hand you a football and there's no way to identify it as that team, or you should mark it, correct? I mean, put something, because you want to try to know whose ball is whose. But most of these teams now, they typically, when they get their footballs, they've got their school mascot, some sort of logo on it from that standpoint. All right. So a worn football, as long as it has the dimensions, have the seal, and then you don't allow them. So when is a team allowed to change the football?
Whatever they want, as long as they're not disrupting the game.
So by rule, and the rule book says when is a team allowed to change football?
There's a change of possession, they can change the football.
Yep, to start a new series of downs.
Before they're ready to play.
Yeah, by rule, start a new series of downs. Yep,
Kickoff.
before they're ready for play. For a free kick down, and following a change of possession, and they scored a touchdown. They were not the team to put the ball in play. By rule, when may they not change a game ball?
If it's not a change of possession after a score.
So let's say, first down, they gain 2 yards on the play, run up the middle. It's a dry field. By rule, are they allowed to change the game ball at that point? Was that Sam?
you said James, I did hear correct.
Yeah, you're breaking up. Demery, you want to tackle that one?
Technically, no, we're not supposed to allow them to do it.
Right. Are they allowed to change a game? So they score a touchdown, and before the kick try, are they allowed to change the game ball then?
No.
No,
No. Now, what do we do in actuality? We allow them to change the game balls. But if a team has not been changing the game ball, and then they run in this old looking, very hyperinflated game ball to kick with for the try, are you going to allow them to do that?
No.
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 Only if they show it to you at pregame and say, this is our kicking ball.
No. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, they're not don't allow it. If they've been changing balls every play, they've been changing balls every play. And then when they come out to kick a try, and then they bring you this ball they've not brought you all game long, are you gonna let them change it?
Nope.
No. So
Nope.
yeah.
Yes.
So
yes. I think I have to use common sense.
Yep.
If you allow them to change balls every play, that's still a no play. Why then? If we allow them to do it all in long, that's no play. Yeah.
So Sam breaking up a little bit, but I think the key there is common sense. All right. Just if they're being really obnoxious with it, then don't allow it. All right. Just tell them. But you want your ball boys to be, or ball girls to be alert on incomplete passes, things like that. You want to bring the balls in, just speed things up. So, but just using common sense there when it comes to changing the game balls. And then remember from 2022, any official may approve exchange of a game ball in between downs if the field is wet. Kicking tee. What's the maximum elevation for the kicking tee?
2 inches off the ground.
All right. And if you find an illegal kicking tee, what is the foul?
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
15 yards. And is this unsportsmanlike foul charged to a player or the coach in terms of counting towards ejection?
Nope.
Nope. Nope. Nope. But again, preventive officiating, if you see them bring an illegal tee out there, what are you going to do?
Can't use that one.
Yeah.
Give it back.
Yeah. Hand it back to them. Chains. So who checks the chains prior to the game?
Linesman.
Linesman.
All right. And so what sort of things are you checking for? Who not? Give me a linesman on here. Monfrey, I think I saw you. What are you checking for when you check the chains?
Make sure there's a cap on the end of the rod. It's a safety issue, so nobody gets cut. We try to make sure they're 10 yards apart, but if they're close, then we're going to play.
Mm-hmm. Because the chains may be right, the lines may be wrong, but the chains may be right. You never know.
And then I kind of give a little pregame, when the play's coming their way, drop the chains, get out the way, go through all that stuff. Don't move until we tell you to.
Mm-hmm. That's the big one. That and the box man, don't move till we tell you to.
Yep. And then I tell them how I'm going to tell them to, because I don't during the game all the time turn around to the chain crew. I hardly ever turn around to the chain crew. So I tell them how I'm going to communicate non-verbally, and it's with hand signals. So I tell them all that and how the game's going to work.
Okay. How about the tape? What do you? What's this tape at the halfway mark? What's that?
So, and this is important, and sometimes I'm bad about carrying extra one, but we check to see the 5-yard mark, because we want to know if it's short of that halfway mark, then we know we're going to not have a first down. And I usually tell the box man, let me know if we've got a short 5. And that's just to indicate to me if we have a penalty that's going to give us a first down or not.
Okay.
So that's the whole purpose of having a marker at the midway point on the chain.
And then for this year, clip placement. Remember, we're going to the back edge of the yard line that the clip's going to be placed on. Just to give a more firm.
Back step.
Yep.
On the back edge of the line on the back step.
Yep. What is the minimum amount of chain equipment that you need for the game? Like we just need a set of chains and a down box, right? You don't need all this other stuff. You can have it, but this flap doesn't indicate a first down. The chain indicates where the first down is. So don't look at the flap to see if they reached or not. Actually look at the end of the chain, because sometimes when they throw these flaps down, they move around, don't you? Out there. Two-clip system. So Jonathan, while you're on there, why don't you talk about the two-clip system?
Yeah, sometimes it gets overwhelming for the clip man, but it's really pretty simple. So that's the 2 clips are in case we make a mistake or we fix something and have to come back. So purpose of the 2 clips is, and I tell people just leave it on there until we snap when we have a first down, leave the clip on there, set your new clip. Then when we have a first down, then it's okay to pick up the old clip.
And why is that important? If there's an issue with the down, when can we go back and correct that?
Until prior to the next snap of a live ball.
Right. So it's not when the series is awarded, it's when the ball is next snapped. And so by having the two clips, it gives you that reference point to go back if we need to.
And I've had to use it maybe once or twice, but when I've had to use it is whenever I've already moved my chains, everything's already set, and then there was a flag on the other side of the field I didn't see, no one saw, for an illegal formation, and it was, oh crap, where were we? So that's the whole purpose of leaving that clip on there, so we can go back and reset them.
Mr. Price, I got the play for you. You there, John?
I'm here.
Okay. You want to walk us through this?
No, but that's not the right score.
No. All right. So what do we got? So we've got what down is it? You remember?
It was 4th down.
4th down. Okay. So they got to reach the 46, it looks like. All right. So where is forward progress for this play? Talk about that first. Receiver comes down. So has he completed the catch?
Yep.
Yep. So where's forward progress at?
About 47.
About 47. No. He
I
broke
lost.
away. So so when he breaks away, does he get that forward progress spot?
No.
No, he does not. Okay. So you got to be thinking. So as a wing official here, you see in there, catch is complete. You make a note of where that is, and he starts to drive him back, but then he breaks away. So now the down ends here. All right. So this wing official is doing what?
Killing the clock.
Killing the clock. Now, is he killing the clock, John, because it's 4th down or because he thinks it's a first down?
Because he thinks it's a first down.
So what does he tell you?
Tell me it's a first down.
Okay. Where's he going?
Short.
He's going it short. Now, something that close on 4th down, wing guys, watch his mechanics. If it's that close, should he be marking it here or should he be coming in to
He
mark
should
it?
run in and spot that ball.
He should come in and spot.
He should run in and actually spot the ball.
Yes. So this is all about communications. All right. So I'm not calling John out.
You can call me out. I don't mind.
They got plenty. I got plenty of screw up videos. So but this is about communication. This guy here, he's trying to look through all these players. This guy here, he needs to run in and put the ball on his foot. Because the umpire is trying to spot it based on that. And you can tell how close that is. Tell how close that
I'm
is.
sorry, it was 3rd down, not 4th.
Third down. Okay. All right. But either way, if it's that close, you come in and spot. And he kind of walks forward a little bit. John points. Now he's backing up. And now he's standing. Just kind of around, talking, moving. And now he comes and stops the clock. And what does he come and tell you, John?
That Knots wants a measurement.
Okay. Does not have the right to request a measurement here.
Yes.
right? So if he's going to come and do this, does he need to be walking to tell you this?
No,
No, he needs to be running in. All right. I mean, you're running to him. He's stopping the clock. He knows what Knox wants, but he's not running to tell you. Does this look very good?
No.
All right, so John comes over there. And now, so what is he telling you? What is this discussion about?
he's telling me he thinks that Knox thinks it's short. And he wants a measurement. Of course, I've already marked it first down, so I probably should have just went with the call, but I decided no. I'm gonna give him the measurement. Of course, they've already moved the chains.
Okay. So now, so
that's
this
where
is
the clips come into play because we were able to put the chains back to where they were before.
okay. So now we've got to put the chains back. So when they go to put these chains back, who should he go put he should do it, right? He should grab the clip and go put it back on the line. There's a conversation. There's discussion. There's huddling.
This is all avoided if you just know the line to gain. If you're that wing and you know your spot and you know the line to gain, coach can yell all he wants and you say, coach, line to gain was the 46. We're at the 46. But you got to know your spot and your line to gain.
And if you're the linesman and you know it's the line 46 and you know you're short, you got to run in, put the ball on your foot and say it's short.
Correct.
Yes. All right. So
yeah, and that far side wing, you want to kind of hold off on close ones like that. If it's not your ruling, just kind of hold off on that.
Agreed.
All right. So now we got a measurement going here. So everything looks good there.
And if I'm your clip guy holding the chain, I'm trying to help my referee as much as possible by hiding that clip.
Yeah, but it was short.
It's short. You look at he's look. All right.
Why is the back judge not at the box?
This is a 7-man crew.
This is a semifinal game.
Yeah, 7-man crew.
Meanwhile, my field judges come in and tell me, John, you shouldn't be doing this. You need to go with the call you got. But that's why he's a Southern Conference official and I'm not. So fortunately, Gaffney gets the first down, but the game was already over at this point anyway. But Knox was just being his usual assy self. And of course, I guess I let him be that way.
So the key takeaway from this play is just comes back to crew communication there. You know, being aware of where you're at, being aware of where the line to gain is. And then if it's close and you've got the spot, you've got to go in there and you've got to be assertive in putting your foot down and letting the coaches, the fan, everybody know you got the spot. This is where it's at. And then if it's close and you take your time and then as a crew and then get there. So it's third down, it's closed. The far guy, like we mentioned, like the opposite guy doesn't need to be stopping the clock there yet. Wait until the ball gets spotted. And then because the clock stops when the first down is awarded. So we haven't awarded the first down yet because we're not sure. Clock shouldn't stop. Now, if it's end of the game situation, it's really close, clock's running down. You don't want to be taking a long time to figure this out, but don't also be in a hurry when it's close like that.
Gary, can I make another comment?
Yep.
So, and I know that every line judge in this district that's worked with me, I tell them, look, if you know it's a first down, stop it. But if you aren't sure, just go in there and say, John, it's close, it's close, it's close.
Mhm.
So there's no way he really knew for sure whether that thing was a first down or not. So, but
No.
I was going off of his signal. He was stopping the clock. And there was no flag. So if he's stopping the clock, he's telling me it's a first down. So for the line judges out there, especially if there's any new ones out here or going to be, do not stop that clock unless you are 100% certain it's a first down.
Mhm.
John.
Because I don't, if I see my Lions judge stop it and then he tells me it's a first down, I'm doing what John did. I'm pointing first down. And then when the ball's down, I'm going. But yeah, so just be sure. And if you're not sure, that's fine. That's why it's close. You know?
And we
Would
as
you-
umpires, we got to help them out also. If we see it's close, we got to tell that linesman, hey, come here and put this on your foot. I'll make him come and put it on their foot in a minute.
Yep.
Eric, would there be a time where you wouldn't grant the measurement?
Yes, if you're sure
Yeah.
one way or the other, if you're absolutely
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, if I'm sure, then
but
I
Ru-
won't grant it, but something that close, I'm gonna grant it.
I mean, it's a semifinal playoff game. I know it
Yeah.
didn't really change. It wasn't
Yeah.
going to change the outcome based on the score at that point, but I was still going to give it to him, even though Dutch Fork was winning and they weren't going to lose. But I mean, I got in a hurry based on what my the line judge was telling me, and then my linesman didn't do me any favors by not being definitive himself. So it was just one of those things where we didn't communicate very well.
I mean, if it's the fourth quarter and it's a blowout, the spot shouldn't be close to begin with. I mean, to be honest with you, if it's a blowout and it's the fourth quarter, that ball is either getting put on the 45 or the 47. I don't care what you do, but you're going to go one way or the other. You ain't going to go 45 3/4. All right. If it's a close game, yes, be as accurate as you can. But if it's a blowout, let's not cause more issues for ourselves than what we already have out there. Player equipment. All right, so knee braces. They have to be worn where?
Under the pants.
Under the pants. Mouthpieces. They can be any color, right? And they've got to have what pads? All right, Dave. All right, Demery. What pads do the linemen? What pads do all the players need?
Knee pads.
Knee
thigh
pads. Thigh pads.
Hip
What else
pad,
they need? Huh?
hip pad.
Hip pad. Butt pads. How many times are we going to see linemen early in the season without their butt pads in?
They'll be there.
Yep. So when you're doing in the pregame, when you're walking the field, when y'all look at you notice that stuff. And if you see them not having it in the pregame, go and tell the coach, hey, make sure they need the butt pads. Get them, the pads in there.
A lot of times what I'm seeing is the knee pads, especially the tall, lanky ones that can't keep those knee pads on.
Pants don't fit them. Player numbering. All right. So starting last year, 0 is now legal. When this photo was taken, it was not, but it is now. So that is now a legal number. What numbers indicate ineligible receivers?
1 through 49. Did you say ineligible or eligible?
Ineligible.
50 through
50 through 79.
Yeah. Just remember the ineligible ones. If they're 50 through 79, they're not eligible. Remember that. All right. There's more. Obviously, there's more to it, but from strictly a numbering standpoint, 50 through 79 is not eligible.
Can they report?
They can report whatever they want, but they're still not eligible. home versus away. So the visiting jersey should be what color?
White.
Right. Unless they got a letter.
And the home team should be what?
Dark.
Dark.
Now, if you walk on the field and both teams have the same colored jerseys, which team has to change?
Home.
Home team.
Home team. Home team. Eye shields. What about eye shields? What's the difference?
Out team.
Let's be clear. Can they be polarized?
No.
No.
Can they be tinted in any sort of way?
No.
No. You should be able to see clearly into their eyes. Can they wear sunglasses underneath their eye shields?
Sure
Yeah.
can.
Yes. Yes. Who determines player equipment legality?
Umpire.
All right, umpires. What the hell is that?
Aesthetic arm came off.
Shotgun.
Does that look legal to y'all?
Safe.
Cement.
I mean, it is well padded. But in the pregame, you know, when we meet the coaches, we say, do we have anybody that we need to look at? And then they come, the umpires check it. So when we go out there, by rule, how many officials are needed to confirm all players are properly and legally equipped?
2.
And what are a minimum, one of those officials has to be
Referee.
a referee. So for sub-varsity games, if somebody's running a little late, then the referee and one other official has to go out there to confirm that. You cannot go by yourself. You got to have 2 people. This is a legal issue to protect yourself, that you have a witness. Okay. And the head coach is responsible. So when you go out for a sub-varsity game, I don't care if Coach Knox is standing on the sideline. If he's not the head coach for that JV game or that B team game, then he doesn't get to tell you that everybody's properly equipped and dressed. Okay, it's got to be whoever, you have to find whoever the head coach is for that game. Are those, is that eye black legal?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Negative. Why?
It's
Yeah,
got
the writing.
Writing. Yep. Is that an eye shield legal?
I don't think so.
Nope. Is that clear?
Nope.
Nope. Nope. All right. Play cards. Where can play cards be at the high school level?
Wrist.
Wrist. Can they be on the belt?
No.
Nope. If you see somebody with a play card here, what are you going to tell them to do?
Put it on.
You're going to tell them to take it off and put it on the wrist. Knee pads. Knee pads have to be covering the knees prior to the snap. If we see somebody with knee pads that are too high, illegal face shield, play card not in the right spot during the dead ball period, what are we going to do?
Send them off unless you're at Fort Dorchester.
So we're going to stop the clock. We're going to take an official's timeout. And that player has to go off for how long?
Like
1 down. 1 down. Unless halftime or overtime. And can a team call a timeout to get that player back in?
No.
No. No. If you stop the clock for not wearing proper equipment, he's got to go out for 1 down.
And then what's the play clock set to?
Oh, that's a good question, Pete. What's the play clock set to?
Well,
Which team
if he's
was it?
defensive player, then I think we go to 40.
40. Yep. And offense?
Offensive player, 25.
25.
25. Yep. Yep. These
He's
back
writing the
protectors.
exam.
Was that?
He's writing the exam.
Yep. Yep. These back protectors. They've got to be what?
Covered.
Covered. Covered. Yes. It's going to be hot in August. These guys are going to roll their stuff up as far as we let them. We've got to make them pull it back down. Make them pull
They
it back.
let me do it last week.
Well, last week was scrimmages, which brings up a good point. You know, starting the scrimmages, jamborees,
Yes, sir.
jamborees, get them.
If they play a game near the border and some of the guys are from North Carolina, is that still okay? Or
If they are in the state of South Carolina, we're using NFHH rules by South Carolina.
Yes, I had a game last year with a team from North Carolina, and the guys played with one of those shields the week before. I said, man, they let me play with it last week. Not this week, sir. You can't play with it. So, yeah, we nail them.
Once you cross south of the border, then you gotta play by our rules. Now, in this case here, illegal equipment becomes improperly worn during the down. Does this player have to sit out when he loses his shoe?
No.
No.
But are we going to hold up? How long can we hold up play for him, allow him to get a shoe on?
25 seconds.
25 seconds. And if it takes more than 25 seconds, then what do they have to do?
Out you go.
Hmm? All right, so some additional, we're almost done here. Now these are rules assigned by in the rule book. Okay, so this is not just strictly mechanics, but this is what's in the rule book. So the referee meets with the head coaches and captains pre-game for sportsmanship. We confirm with head coaches, player equipment. Again, second official must be present. Referees rule promptly and in spirit of good sportsmanship on situations not covered in the rule book. The legality of the game ball. We may order the home team to change their jerseys. We do not declare game forfeitures. We just say the game's suspended and we report it to the high school league. And there was confusion about this last year. So we have the South Carolina mercy rule, but you still have in place where the coaches can agree to shorten the periods outside of the mercy rule. All right. So those are two separate rules. You have by the rule, the coaches, by opposing coaches can agree to shorten the period or periods, and that is separate from the mercy rule.
Is that the same as short as the halftime? Same situation?
So so halftime. So what is the minimum that halftime can be by the rule book?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Unless what happens? What's
Have
the
a stoppage of weather stoppage prior to what, 3 minutes?
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Yeah, so minimum of 10 minutes. Now, does that include the mandatory warm-up period?
No.
No. So you got 10 minutes minimum plus the 3 to warm up. And then if the game is interrupted due to weather during the last 3 minutes of the second period, and the delay is at least 30 minutes, then they can shorten halftime intermission to a minimum of 1 minute, plus the 3 minute warm-up period.
Garrick, when you say shorten the period, does that mean literally that, we can agree to only play 8-minute quarters, or does that also include a running clock?
No, they can do like 8-minute quarters. Yeah.
No, but I mean, in other words, if the coach says, we just want to run the clock.
Yep.
Because I mean, I had 2 cases last year where it was 40-0. Not 42, 40. Because can we have a running clock?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep. They still have that option as well. Yep. So they can shorten the period, they can run the clock. And that is separate from our mercy rule for the state.
If
the clock doesn't work,
let's clarify that. Are you saying that shortening the quarter means running the clock? I don't think so.
No.
They're
No.
of each other.
No.
That's
That's separate. Yeah.
right.
Yep.
If the coach says, I want to run the clock, then what we do is just use common sense and make sure the other coach is okay with it. But that's not, that's supported by rule. That's not shortening the quarter.
That's correct.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so if the coaches say, hey, we want to play the fourth quarter, we want to play 8 minutes. They can do that. And if they don't, you would use the normal timing rules unless they agree to run the clock or the mercy rule is in effect. Okay. Should the game clock not work, then at 4 minutes, you notify both teams. If you have to move the free kick line because of field conditions. Now, these are the big two. Start or stop the clock if a team illegally conserves or consumes time. Okay, so the referee has some broad authority to, and so when do you see this? You know, end of a half, team does something that could be construed as illegally conserving or consuming time, then I can start or stop it as I need to. Correct obvious timing issues. Call for a measurement. Again, the captain may request, but does not have to be honored. Penalize for unfair acts. Umpire. So we already mentioned legality of player equipment. So forearm pads, gloves, tape, bandage, or support wrap on hand, forearm to protect injury. Head linesman and line judge. Notify respective team number of timeouts and special penalty enforcements for overtime. Again, these are what's in the rule book, not mechanics. The crew. Officiating crew may delay or suspend game affected by weather. In conjunction with game management after the game begins or game management prior to the start of the game. So basically what this is saying is once the game begins, we own that. But if the trainer comes out there and says there's lightning within 30, so many miles, then that's us working with them before the game. If they say we're not playing or we're delaying, then we just kind of go with it. And if this is happening at my game, I am already in my car. So some highlights from the mechanics manual. Crew meets with the head coaches. Okay. Umpire, referee walk the field. Preventive officiating, looking for illegal equipment. The line judge instructs the chain crew. Line judge, ball judge, back judge instruct the ball persons. We shouldn't have a lot of this. Just kind of standing around, milling about. We all have responsibilities in the pregame. Okay. This has got a couple more things. So now what do we got going on here? All right. So are these coaches allowed to come on the field to break this up?
No.
Coaches?
Yes, head coach. Yes.
Sorry.
Coaches,
Yes.
yeah. Coaches, yes. Are these guys allowed to come on the field?
No.
And then all of these guys are coming. Coaches, he's trying to hold him back. So what are you going to do with this game at this point?
Suspended.
We're going to suspend this thing. We're not going to keep going because we don't know who all left and who didn't. But we're going to suspend it and we're going to let the high school league figure it out. Here's another one. All right.
Mute your mic.
I got it. All right. So a couple of things on this play. What's the score?
It's a Dutch fork score.
What quarter is it? Fourth quarter.
Fourth.
And the winning team is punting. So the losing team's already aggravated. So we get this. So is that a foul?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Out of bounds.
Yeah. So we got a foul. All right. So what do we need to try to do as a crew to prevent this from escalating?
Get in there.
Hold the player.
Yeah, on colors.
Try to get the opposing colors out of this team box area. We don't care about the spot. We'll make all that up later. But we got to try to get these guys separated. And they do a pretty good job getting them separated. Okay. All right, get them out of there. Now, this is the head coach for the losing team. He's all the way over here. What are you going to do about that?
I'm walking back in this situation.
Okay. All right, and that's the head coach for the winning team. We got him face to face. We've got to try to get him back, and we've got to get him back. And that's what these guys do. Now, you notice how he was angling himself between the coaches without putting a lot of hands on the coach. We don't want to push them. We don't want to pull them. But we want to position our bodies with our arms out to kind of get them separated there. And then there's just flags being thrown, just throw some flags around. But then you see how they just walking everybody back. Walking everybody back. So penalty enforcement wise, we know we have what?
Got a dead ball foul
Against
against
R.
R.
Right? And then if we want to hit both head coaches with unsportsmanlike, we can do that. And then how many fouls are we going to end up enforcing?
One. 3-1.
One, because the other two are going to offset, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, but they will still count towards ejection purposes.
Mhm.
But then they're gonna, but those two unsportsmanlikes will end up offsetting. Right, and the last play. Go ahead.
Looks like he had an injection there too.
Yeah, they ended up. I think that was his second. That was a college thing. It was like his second one or something like that. Unsportsmanlike foul, or they did something weird on that, but. All right, so this last play, this is the last play of the game. Okay. So they're gonna throw a Hail Mary. It gets picked off. We get a tackle, and then we get that. So what is that? Y'all see that at the end?
That'd be considered a dead ball, personal foul, but the game's over.
Right. So the game is over with. That's correct. Oh, do we still have jurisdiction at this point?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Yes. So we need to see that. Right? Because if this escalates further, and it's a nice job there, he got in, he's walking off, he got him separated. But if this escalates further, then we need to report to the high school league what we saw at the beginning. When do we no longer have jurisdiction for the game?
Once you declared the fourth quarter over, or the game over if you're in overtime.
Right. And have we declared the game over with it by that point?
Nope.
No. So just because the game ends and we know one team wins, don't lose track of that immediate dead ball action there at the end of the game, because that could have really gotten really ugly.
That was the quarterback with the cheap shot.
It was the quarterback with the cheap shot. Now, once I turn my back, once I declare the game over with and I turn my back and I start running off the field, am I going to look back if I hear a commotion behind me?
Nope.
No. No. But we need to be aware of that, because if something were to escalate from that, we need to be able to report to the high school league, hey, we saw the dead ball late hit that preceded whatever happened immediately thereafter. All right, that concludes this session. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Garrett, no questions, comments, but for those people that are on the call with iPhone and nicknames, you need to put your real name on here so I can get your attendance. I'm not gonna try to figure out who iPhone is and all those nicknames and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I mentioned that before you hopped on there. Probably not everybody got it.
All right. Cool.
All right, guys. Well, we'll see you either in person or via Zoom next week. There's a newer officials meeting on Thursday night at BC at 6 o'clock. Feel free to attend that as well. And then y'all have a good night, and we will and I'll start handing out rule books on Thursday. So